Waking up and fighting like a dream that never ends. The fighter in you brings out the fighter in me. Shake it off and take your corner, time to shout out. The fighter in you brings out the fighter in me. Shake it off and take your corner, time to shout out. It's time to shout out.
Welcome back, fight friends, to the Shout Out Fight Podcast. I hope you're doing all right. It's Monday again. Now, I'm going to be real with you. We're going to do, for sure, 2 podcasts this week. We are not going to be talking about the Muay Thai World Cup in this one, so we'll put out 2 this week. I'm not going to wait till next Monday. That was so much fun that why wait, right? Let's strike while the iron's hot. But in the meantime, in this one, happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. Including myself, I want to as well wish my dad, Dave, a happy Father's Day. We celebrated today, Monday, so I was out Monday morning, about 45 minutes south of where I'm at, Calgary and Turner Valley. And in my opinion, the best steak and eggs I've ever had. Shout out to the Chuck Wagon Cafe in Turner Valley. Oh, my goodness. Well worth the drive. I like going out there with my dad. I like the vibe. Just such a great place. So happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there, including my dad. Now, as just mentioned, we are going to talk about the Muay Thai World Cup. We will break that down from the best seat in the house. I love commentating. But listen, I got to stop. Because I'll get on with it. This one, I don't want to mix them. This gets its own podcast, and you'll see for a reason. So this podcast, we have Rajadamnern World Series 154-pound tournament fighter Brad Stanton from the UK, now residing out of the UAE. But you guys have heard, if you've been watching this podcast or listening, well, maybe not watching, but listening, I'm a massive fan of Rajadamnern World Series. I mean, Rajadamnern Stadium itself, I mean, it's historic, right? It's the very first Muay Thai stadium ever built, and they've modernized it, and boy, the fights are really fun. So Brad Stanton breaks this down. Now, listen, this was pretty organic. I'm not really sure where this came from. I think I just happened to like... I don't know. I don't even know. Something on Instagram. Maybe I shared the tournament poster because, like I said, I mean, that division is crazy. But I'm a big fan of the RWS. Once I kind of got on board last season, I didn't really know how it worked. Anyway, maybe maybe he liked something. There was a comment or something. You know how the Instagram works, right? And I just happened to see Mr. Stanton say, "Yeah, we should have a talk sometime." And I was like, "What? No way!" I'm like, everyone says that. Everyone says that. But lo and behold, we started messaging back and forth a little bit and making the podcast happen, made it happen. So I don't know what to say. That's so cool. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, I'm not a massive fan of like audio from like Zoom and stuff. I try to make it in studio, but how could I... oh, sorry, Brad, your audio isn't, like, in studio, so I'm not going to do this. Like, obviously, I'm not an idiot, right? What a phenomenal opportunity. And, again, I say it all over and over again. This is my favorite part of doing this. Sorry, I seem to be really nervous about that orange light, eh? Same with the last one. Anyway, hey, you know what? If it turns off, it turns off. So what? Anyway, so, yeah, it was last Sunday morning that I was sitting down, having coffee and hanging out with my wife and my kids. Shout out to the Cub and Mrs. Shadow podcast. And just chatting back and forth. And we got a time figured out. And I can't believe it. And it was Saturday morning. Now, there's a 13-hour time difference between us. So, naturally, someone's going to stay up late or be getting up early. And I want to thank Mr. Brad Stanton for staying up a little late. I didn't want to take any second longer of this guy's time than I needed to. This guy is an elite fighter fighting in the most elite division I've ever seen. Now, maybe I'm over-exaggerating, but at least at the top of my memory, I haven't seen anything like that. I didn't. It's late at night. I didn't want to take up any time. So I really do appreciate you, Brad, for taking this time talking to me. Before we continue on, you know it. Make sure you please, really easy. Take your single finger, hit that like button for me. Make sure you share the podcast with friends, family, and foe alike. I promise they'll all love it. Maybe if it's a foe, you even get a friend out of it. Maybe even family, who knows? But that doesn't happen unless you share the podcast, so please make sure you do that. And do you and me a favor and be a real one. How you do that? Subscribe to the podcast. It helps me. It helps you. That way you know you're a real one, because in the words of my buddy B. Kong, only the real ones subscribe. So do me a favor. If you just a couple things, and we're good to go. You help me. You feel good. And we get to carry on. 5 stars. Did you just hear what I said? We're talking to Rajadamnern World Series tournament fighter, Brad Stanton. That's worth 5 stars. All the way to the right, make sure you hit all those stars. They all light up. I'm happy, you're happy. Oh, what a glorious Monday. It's actually kind of poopy out here. But if you want to make me feel better, and you, make sure you hit that 5-star button for me. Okay, guys. Just got my notes here. Fighty friends, 0, because I'll end up talking about the Muay Thai World Cup. But I do have a shout out to Brett S. I don't know if you want me to use your last name. A lot of chat back and forth. He had a fight out in Thailand, and I hear it was a draw. You know, that's it, man. Put all your eggs in that basket to have nobody be the winner. That's tough. But hey, man, just keep grinding. Congratulations, and good on you, man. Good for you. Events coming up. I do have one. There's going to be a world champion, Charles Bissett, world Muay Thai champion, Canadian guy, but pretty much had his career, a big portion of his career down in California. But he's going to be coming up to my gym, Arashido Martial Arts, to do a Muay Thai seminar. I'm so bad with dates. I believe it is Thursday the 22nd. If it's not Thursday, July 22nd, it's Thursday, July 23rd. So it will be open to the public. We will have pre-registration open. I'm only going to open it to a max of 30 people. So I'll have a poster, all that good stuff. Keep an eye on it. Come learn from a big world champion. I mean, he fights at like 185 pounds, 200 pounds. So yeah, I'll be bringing him to the gym. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, 0, because I'll end up talking about the Muay Thai World Cup. All right, guys. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Jay. Now, before we continue on, like I said, I got so excited to talk to Brad Stanton that I pushed record on my fun little audio machine here, but I forgot to push record on Zoom. So on video, on YouTube, boy, that's professional. Hey, excuse me, burped. My bad. I chopped off the first 5 minutes by accident, but let me catch you up real quick. Mr. Brad Stanton from the UK talks about his time coming up, working with his, I believe it was older brother, boxing, and just did not enjoy it. Got tuned up, eventually found his way into Muay Thai at John Pop Kia Ponteep Gym, UK, and just has nothing but great things to say. And that's where I know him from as well. Like I said, we were going to cross the pond, talking to Richard Smith, shout out to Bad Company, Muay Thai, and Richard Smith. And they said, hey, you want to come fight here? And we said, yes, me and Chris McMillan do. Well, I want to take Chris McMillan over there. And he said, great, you got to fight Brad Stanton. Like, oh boy, that's a tough one. Anyway, I've said that story before. It didn't come to fruition, but I've been watching him ever since then, and I can't even tell you how long ago that was. I mean, long time ago. So I've been really paying close attention to Brad Stanton. He tells an incredible story about, which we don't miss. It's just sort of the introduction to him in martial arts, and not that he lost the blue light. We're rolling on. It doesn't, oh shoot, now I'm all distracted by my blue light, guys, I'm sorry. we chopped off the first 5 minutes of him introducing himself to martial arts, and then he continues on about of course the Rajadamnern World Series. But I apologize if you are wanting that first 5 minutes. Just make sure you hit the audio version. I'm not saying it's not important. I mean, it is. I mean, this is his story, and I was so excited to hear it. I'm nervous about that orange light. But the rest of it was just absolutely phenomenal, and here's why. And I'm not telling the podcast. I promise it's good, but I've said this before. Some of my favorite podcasts are they're not about the punch and the kick. Like sometimes you try to interview people, and sometimes you just end up talking, and it works out better. And this was the case. And you'll hear me say it. It was so much about life in Muay Thai, and we always hear it on like UFC and Tonight and all the sacrifice I put in. We always hear that. And what does that mean? It means you got to get up early and you got to diet. If you're lucky. But you know, being away from your family and just he breaks it down. But I thought he did a phenomenal, beautiful job about how his life really is Muay Thai. And to be honest, it really didn't have much to do with the punch and the kick, but how Muay Thai really is life. And this was such a beautiful conversation for me. It amped me up for the rest of the day, and then I got to go obviously commentate, obviously, the Muay Thai World Cup. But we'll get into that. All right, guys. Enough of that. Beautiful talk. I apologize for the first 5 minutes. Really easy. Video, YouTube, audio, Spotify. So if you want those first 5 minutes and they're worth it, just please make sure you hop on and do both. All right, guys. Oh, shout out to Turkey and Pistols. To be honest, I'm a delicate flower, but what a sweet shirt. So please, no bad comments. All right, guys. Enough of that. Let's get to it. Brad Stanton, Rajadamnern World Series, 154-pound tournament fighter. And his next fight, by the way, is against Danny Rodriguez, last year's tournament champ, as well as the stadium champ, undefeated. And listen, he's a tough fight for any of these fights. They're awesome. All right, shut up, Jay. Let's get to it. Here we go, Brad Stanton. So did you find that transition hard? It looks like a lot of sort of the old school ties have that sort of 3-round, 5-round, like.
It's not essentially it's hard. It's like, from obviously when you hear that first bell, it's you don't get paid overtime. Simon Jew, that stayed with me forever. Simon Jew said to me, "You don't get paid overtime," and getting that mindset from the second of the first bell, it's if you've not really got the experience of having so much wars to say, so it's just like it's not really there. Like I don't get me wrong, I love the traditional Muay Thai 5 rounds. I was just talking to my wife now. We just had from Revolution, Emerson Bento fight for the Lumpini belt just now tonight, right. And I was watching it. I was like, oh, how I miss 5-round fights, And you could just see the gradual pace pick up, and obviously the Thai picked up he changed his gears a little bit.
Right.
But that endurance and the way the power came and the dictating of the game, over the 5 rounds, it's a beautiful game,
I really love it. Yeah.
Yeah. But then obviously you've got the new way of the 3 rounds where it's just like, I want war,
Sure.
I want war,
and I
I
love
want
that too.
power, I want speed, and I want a hard fight. The CEO actually said in the briefing, he was like, we don't want boredom. We don't want that, if you're dancing around, the ref's going to tell you off type of thing.
Yes.
It's nice to see that they actually acknowledge that.
Yes.
Because I think when back in the day, when people were winning, they would take the time of dancing around the ring and going, yeah, I've won, blah, 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 kicking around, shaking their ass and type of thing.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
So they've eliminated that process.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And I think that's where now the international Muay Thai scene will step up a little bit, because we've got a little bit more grit and we've got that fire where we actually want to beat the Thais, because that to beat such names on your CV, it's like, yep, I'll have him. Right. I'll go for that title. I'll have that. Obviously it ups your salary. It just gives a better quality of life overall.
It's a good way to say it.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying it.
That's awesome, man. Speaking of which, I didn't mean to grab my phone, but I do have a little. I was just trying to find it. Message here from Mr. Kieran Kettle. Tell Brad, Kieran says hi. Your dad is a legend, and so glad you're back fighting. You're a great talent. He has a question for you. What is the inspiration for the comeback and why?
First of all, Kieran Kettle, absolute legend. I think he's going to go down in history as one of the best foreigners to actually make this sport worldwide. I've got a lot of respect for the man, and I'm waiting for my offer to be get on that Canadian Muay Thai scene.
Yeah.
So when you're ready, Mr. Kettle.
That's it. I'll start bugging him tonight.
I've got my parent-in-laws are in Toronto, so
okay.
I'd like to have a fight around that area so I can have them watch a fight as well. Inspiration wise, again, I'm 66 fights in my career now.
Listen, I'm sorry. I have an idea. I'm not going to let me and Kieran.
Here we go.
We have to talk there. I was like, who the heck would you fight? And right when I said that, I'm like, oh. Anyway, we'll talk, Kieran. I'll see him at the fights tonight. I get to commentate, but I didn't think there was anybody for you. There is. Yes.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm sorry. Back to
any fight. I'll take it. In terms of inspiration, first, obviously, I've had 66 fights, and I always said I'd be happy to retire at 100 fights, and I don't want to have such a bad record where I've lost some. I'm on my 10th loss. I don't want to end it to the point where I'm on 10th loss.
I understand.
Partly the inspiration was that my family are really behind me, and they've noticed when I stopped fighting, part of me disappeared. And on top of that, when my father passed away with Alzheimer's dementia, it kind of took me for a surprise of not so much if I was grieving, but more of a I need to make sure that I leave this world knowing I'm happy with what I've done. You
Sure.
know, so like seeing my dad, like obviously Kieran said he's an absolute legend. My dad was by my side in every training session, every running session. So to see such a disease take him away, it was quite gut wrenching. And my missus said to me, she was like, if you feel this way, then do something in honor of him.
Sure.
And then obviously life goes on. My mum met an amazing gentleman called Stephen, and he's a boxer as well.
Right.
A real good athlete. He's got that athlete mindset, and he's got the heart, and he's always said, what you're doing, get back in the ring. He's both. I've got a great family system behind me. We've
That's
gone
everything.
through a lot of tests the last few years, and fighting and my Muay Thai career has kind of kept it together.
Mm.
you
Mm.
know. And then obviously I got married, alhamdulillah, with my wife. I live in Abu Dhabi. Obviously converted to Islam and all that stuff by choice, by my own choice, not by
Sure.
force or anything.
Yeah.
And my children got involved into it.
Is
So
that
now
right?
my son Zizo said he now represents the UAE.
Nice.
And then my daughter, obviously, she's had a few fights as well.
Is
So
that right? Hey, right on.
it's just it's more so I, I need to be a role model and an inspiration to the next generation. I think
Sure.
that the children of today are quite soft and weak-minded
Boy,
in
are
a
they.
sense of that there's always computers, there's always a phone in their hand, and there's no more playing out on the streets or extra curriculum going on or anything.
Correct. Yes, I agree. I agree.
Even my oldest Amir, he's an absolute tech savvy kid. He's smart as hell, but he still goes to the gym. He
Yeah.
still has that little bit of um, not he doesn't he's not really a Muay Thai guy. He's not really a boxing guy, but he likes to have that little bit of like relationship in terms of gym and strength and conditioning with me.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Nice.
So, so,
That's great.
so it's more so inspiration, and I just want to give back, man. I want to be able to inspire some people, whether it's an older man or an older lady or a kid who's getting bullied or something like that. And I think that's where I fit in life.
That's
I
great,
think
man.
that's what I've been put on this in this life to do.
Well, and there's no other way to like, everybody says it's a team and you got to hold yourself accountable. Well, it's really easy when it's your kids holding you accountable. Hey,
Yeah, yeah, it is.
that's
And not
awesome,
just
man.
the kids as well. I've obviously like been in the UAE for a few years. We opened a gym, me and my wife, and a lot of the kids came to us to train, and we ended up taking them to Thailand and stuff. And I still, get the the Instagram messages and stuff like this here, and obviously, like with the main religion being Islam, there, it's like we're praying for you, and it's just beautiful to see like there's a community.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding.
And even though thousands of miles away, it's so nice, and it's so humbling
Right,
that
right.
there's someone out there looking at you like, I want to be like him.
That's right. Yeah,
Doesn't
no
matter.
kidding,
We're
man.
not we're not going to be millionaires. We all know that we're not
That's
going to be
it.
millionaires in Muay Thai, but I'm a millionaire in happiness. And I'm most happiest when sounds so crazy when I'm getting punched in the face.
That does sound crazy.
you know, Despite all the hard work behind the closed doors of the gym and the running and the strength and conditioning and stuff, that's what it is. That's the inspiration. So
Well, and I've had about 15 fights or so, and I have no problem saying it. I'm 41 years old now, but you have it or you don't, and that's why people are so attracted to fighters. They just have that it. Like a lot of people say that sentence you just said. I know I enjoy getting punched in the face, but they don't really mean it. Like
yeah,
that's the it that fighters have, and I personally believe you have it or you don't. Maybe you find it. Maybe you didn't believe it and you find it.
yeah. I think a lot of the time it's found.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's a very rare occasion an athlete is born with it.
that's right. Yeah, I fully agree.
Like you've got the likes of Muhammad Ali, you've got Mike Tyson. These guys all went through some sort of trauma to become what they are today.
That's right.
I wouldn't say to the level of trauma what I had like what they had compared to me being bullied, but there was something there what ignite that spark, you know.
That's right.
And I think if you can channel that energy, I think in any aspect of life, I think that's where something will come to fruition and a positive outlook on life, you know.
Yes, I agree. Yes, that's a great way to put it as well. Yeah, unbelievable. And it
But
kind of shows. It shows. You know what I mean? Like even just the Instagram messages. I'm just like, wow, like this guy feels so relaxed and calm. Like, wow, like
yeah,
I can feel it. You know?
I think as well that relaxation and calm thing it's a sense of like how grateful you are at life and how much are you willing to give away or how much are you willing to sacrifice to make sure that you're always humbled and you're always modest and grateful of such things, you know. Like who could say they've got a wife and 3 children at home that are willing to make a 5 month sacrifice so I can still continue to chase my dream, you know.
Right. Right.
So that there again is another humbling experience for me to go, you know what, I need to switch this on now. When that bell goes, I've got to go for the next 9 minutes of my life to make sure that not just me, I experience such a moment, but my children, the people supporting me, you know,
Right.
Stephen, Dad, you know, everyone, my mum, you know.
The win goes beyond you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not just that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So
not just yourself no more.
So let's take that fight, your last fight with Reza there. The opening round of that was the opening round of the division, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. Do you feel that pressure of like, you know, I got to do this for more than me? Is there pressure that you're feeling when you're in there?
Not at all.
Yeah,
Not at all. It's the most thing I can relate it to is. Did you see the new Creed film?
I did. Yes.
Okay, so you know when he went into that blackout phase and it was just him.
Yes.
That's what it feels like in the
Yes.
ring.
I feel you. Okay.
And I thought, you know, obviously, like I know it's totally off topic, but for him to touch that mental side of that fight game, I think that was absolutely beautiful, and it was phenomenal that an actual director, especially his first time directing it, like pulled it out and put it into life for
That's right.
the public eye to see, you know, because that's what it feels like.
That's right.
It feels
Right.
like it's just you and your opponent. Like my missus asks me every fight, "Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Did you hear me?" I'm like, "No,"
Yeah.
but every little emotion, you know, like I'm not gonna lie, I've cried. You
Sure.
know, I'm a fully grown man. I miss my kids. I miss my wife.
Of course.
You know, I miss my mum. I'm here sacrificing a lot, you know, and at the same time, so are they. You
Yes.
know, there's memories. You know, my son auditioned for the orchestra yesterday. I missed it. I should have been there as a father.
I hear you.
But we all know that the bigger picture of the sacrifice right now could potentially be another good year for us and another holiday or another great memory where we go see family or whatever, you
An
know.
improvement in
So
quality of life, like you said.
yeah. So like in the ring, you don't necessarily feel anything of the crowd or anything. You've got so much emotion behind you that it's if you can channel it, you can. It's just another humbling experience, you know. You've just got to calm yourself and control that the emotion. That's all I can say.
Sure. Of course. Of course.
You know.
Uh, yeah. Well, again, but I think as a fighter, like a real fighter, like, oh yeah, just that easy, hey?
Yeah, it's not easy. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not
I
saying
know.
it's
I'm
easy.
being a little sarcastic, obviously. But
It's just. I think it just came down to experience. You know, I was ring rusty. I had a fair few. I've not been at that level for a long time,
right.
Jason. You know, so like, uh, it was just a manner that you could see in the fight. I did get a little bit frustrated with myself.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, and I'll admit to it. You know, Reza was an absolute amazing athlete, and it was a great contest. You know, I'm
Yep.
really grateful that I shared the ring with him. I appreciate and respect his efforts. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and inshallah, I hope he goes on and does good in his career. You know,
Yes.
but it was for me. It was just I needed that fight to get off that ring rust.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I've got the champ next,
That's right.
and
That's
you
right.
know,
How do you feel about that fight?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Yeah, good.
happy.
Well, and you know, I'm sure.
Wearing my ass off, mate.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's. And here's the thing about the whole division, including you. You're in that division where everyone's, Yarvicha and Daniel Rodriguez. But look at everybody in that division is a complete savage. There's zero
Yeah, I
easiness or
think
anything like that.
so many different styles of fighting within that one weight category.
It's crazy
You've
awesome.
got Bishop who's absolute dangerous with knees and elbows. You saw what he did with his last opponent, and then obviously Daniel's tall. He's fast. He's got the fight IQ.
Current champ.
He's active,
Yes.
and he's also got the mindset of he's the champion of the stadium, which is another great moment in history that a foreigner got Rajadamnern champion again. Excuse me, and then he obviously won the tournament last year, so he's up there.
Yep.
He's the king.
Confidence is high. Yep.
You know, but again, we're only human, mate. We all bleed. We all have one heart who just beats away.
That's
and,
it. That's it.
Anything can happen in the fight, mate.
That's right.
We've got our. I train very closely with Sagapet. Tim Fisher, obviously the manager of the gym. He's on my absolute backside on my shoulders 24/7. My strength and conditioning games on par, my nutrition, everything. So I feel good, mate.
Great.
Again, but anything can happen in the ring.
That's it.
At the end of the day, I've got my game plan A, B, and C.
That's it. Yeah.
So it's just a matter of that. We see what goes when the bell goes.
That's right. Besides yourself, in that division, is there any other matchups that you as a fight fan want to see?
I'd like to see the rematch of Yarvicha and Daniel.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the final last year, it was a very close fight.
Yeah,
very, very close match. I'd like to see Pechmorikot and Yarvicha as well.
Yeah, coming up. Yeah,
I think that's a very, very big fight for the Thai scene. Again, they're all elite level. These guys aren't playing around. It's not like they're winning a fight and then they go party or anything. We live and breathe this game.
That's right.
We'll have 3 or 4, 5 days off maximum.
That's right.
If we're not in the gym, we're probably doing rehab or trying to limit injuries and stuff like this here and that. Because again, obviously, it's 4 weeks in and 4 weeks out each fight.
Right. You're pretty frequent.
You've got to be on top of your recovery game. Ice baths, physio, everything, foam rolling. There can't be no stone unturned.
That's right.
At such a level.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, of course. That's such a big thing. I'm not sure people realize you're gonna have to take your recovery just as seriously as part of training is training.
Even the sleep, mate. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, right, I'm going to bed. Good night. Don't message me. Stick my phone on do not disturb and stuff like. And she's like, "What? That's it?" I'm like, yeah, bye.
Sure. And in saying that, I won't take up more of your time, sir.
Say again.
I understand. I won't take up too much more of your time. Speaking of which, sir.
No, it's totally fine, man. Like I said, rest day tomorrow, so I get a little bit of a lie in. It's all right. I'm enjoying it.
I do have a question. So, now you had a fight in 2022, I believe, right? Was that in UAE as well?
Yeah, in the Etihad Arena.
Where you bit?
Mohammed Bukhari.
There we go.
That was just at the beginning of COVID. That was when COVID just hit.
Right.
6 months in.
No.
And actually, that was I took that fight just because my father had passed away. So I was like, if there's anything to pay respect to my father, because obviously with COVID shut the whole world down, you couldn't fly, so I didn't get to go to his funeral or anything. So I was like, what can I do in terms of paying my respects to him? And then just out of, I don't know, mercy of God, shall we say, I got offered a fight and I just thought, oh, okay, maybe it's a sign. So I took it and, it felt good.
Did you have a
hard time? Confused.
I'm sorry?
I was very confused about the fight. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, clear. Obviously, some frustration. Now, listen, that was a savage of a fight too, man. You guys got after it. That was a good one. I enjoyed that fight. Did you have trouble training for that fight because of COVID and all that stuff?
Honest truth,
Yes.
I bought a treadmill. I put it in the garage and I shadowboxed and went on the treadmill.
There you go. Hey,
That's all it is.
you look great,
And then
man.
I had a few rounds. A few of my friends like jumped on the pads with me here and there, like do 50 left kick, 50 right kick here and there. But I really didn't train, mate. Like
All right.
my wife was just looking at me like, "You're mad." I was like, "The best I can do. We're in COVID, you know."
Sure.
Because Abu Dhabi completely shut down. You know, you want loud. Obviously, back in Abu Dhabi, I'm a personal trainer. I teach Thai boxing, so I
Right.
wasn't allowed to work.
Yep.
You know, if you were getting fines if you're out after a certain time, type of thing. You had to have
Yikes.
permissions. You know, so
Yeah.
it shook the world big. You know, and there
Right.
wasn't much we could do. But you know, considering such limitations, the way the UAE Federation put the show on was absolutely phenomenal. And I think it was one of the first Thai boxing shows in the world during COVID, you know.
Nice. Is that right? Look,
And
beautiful. Look nice. Great production.
yeah, it
Look
was
beautiful.
absolute, really great production, you know. Uh, yeah, with Jabril and Fahad and Mr. Tariq of the Federation really, really did good. So, yeah, it was
Yeah,
nice.
congrats to them.
It was a pleasure to be a part of it.
Awesome. Yeah.
And it was only, I think it was only like 17 seconds until the fight was over.
Yeah,
And then you were
man.
out.
What were you thinking? Like, why?
You
Why?
know,
It was
uh,
such a great fight up to that point.
yeah, wait, I'm still like mind blown by it. I don't, you know, I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. Um,
But
sorry, I was going
it
to
did
say,
well.
so as far as the now the Rajadamnern World Series tournament, did they come to you or did you go to them? Like, just curious how that relationship started.
No, actually, what? So I ended up closing my gym in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
I just didn't feel like it was the right thing to carry on, keep going, and there was other, you know, business issues and stuff, and me and my wife were just one part of it no more. You know,
Yeah.
the passion had gone for that area, not for Thai boxing, but just for the area where I was located at. I was just like, I'm done. I can't keep on giving more of my life away and not seeing anything come back. You know,
Yep.
and nothing, no one. It's not aimed at anyone or anything like that. It was just maybe it just wasn't the time for me to have a gym. You know,
Yep. Yep. For sure.
but Tim Fisher, obviously, I got all my equipment from him. I got my boxing ring for him during COVID and stuff like that there. And I said, "Oh, mate, you know, if there's any fights coming up, just I'm happy to fly over. I'm not far from. I'm only a 5 6 hour flight away. You know, I can come for a
Right.
few weeks and stuff." And kept on offering me. He offered me a WBC world title.
Mm.
In Hua Hin when they had that WBC festival not so
Oh
long
yeah.
ago.
Yep.
Forgot who they wanted me to fight. I think Tanonchai from Six
Oh yeah.
Champion.
Okay.
And he just came out of the military, so he was doing a lot of boxing and stuff. And I was just like, man, I'm not training. I'm not active. I can't take it.
Yeah.
Then he offered me another fight a couple of weeks later, and I was just like, I'm train, man. Something must be happening. There must be somewhere, something or someone that wants me to fight.
Right.
So I was just sat staring, and I'm at home, and my wife's like, why don't you just go to Thailand and just fight? You're clearly itching, you know. And then I think maybe 2 weeks later, after that conversation, my wife Tim messaged me. He was like, "We had a guy. He unfortunately he took a serious injury that stopped his Thai boxing career.
Mhm.
Do you want to step in?" I've sent it, so I said, "Yeah, all right." And then I sent off like all my fight videos, my fight record, and stuff like that. There and Rajadamnern World Series, the board, obviously they did the research on me, and they were like, "Yeah, okay." And that
Man,
was it. And I was like,
for
okay."
real?
Like like okay, I'm back at the top and I'm not even ready.
Yeah.
So then me and my wife were sat there like, right, okay, I'll come to Thailand and then after the fight I'll fly back for a week and then I'll do that process. And then we got the fight order and it was like I'm surprised I'm not divorced, to be honest, mate. I said to my wife, I was like, I'll go for 1 month first. And then we got the fight on. I was like, shit, man, you know, I think I should stay for 2 months.
Right.
And then I was like, right. But then after Daniel, I've got Tananchai. let's just stay from May till August. And she's like, is this going to carry on, or are you gonna say it's going to stay till the end of the year? And I was like, well, I'm contracted till the end of the year, but I will come home. So we're just right now we've got our August at the back of our heads,
Right. Right.
but it depends on literally if I win the fights or not.
That's
You
right.
know, if I win this fight, inshallah, and then I win the next fight against Tanunchai, inshallah, I'll go into September draw. And
Mm.
then if I win September, I'm obviously in the final. So we'll see.
Right. Yep.
See what goes.
That's it. One fight at a time.
Yeah, but I've got offers. There's a few promoters talking to us for
Excellent.
October and November and that. I want to keep active now that I'm here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. November, Canada. Kieran, we have to talk.
Yeah. Well, that's when all the kids are off school as well, so wouldn't
Awesome.
mind it.
Awesome. So last couple questions here. I always ask like a top 3 question. And it's usually the same for fighters. Who are your top 3 most influential fighters in your life and why?
Ooh, I think you know I've always looked up to John Pop. He's like a father figure to me,
Shout out
and
to
obviously seeing him in the ring and then having him so close to me as he's pretty much like said like a father figure to me. I've watched his style, you know, and
Mm.
he's amazing. He's
Is
got it again. I think he's another person to go down in history for Muay Thai.
There you
The
go.
way he's changed, you know, UK Muay Thai especially. You know, he's really, really changed the game, and he's got some absolute amazing fighters in Captain in Leeds right now.
Man, that is a strong stable.
Yeah, it is, and it has been, you know. And again, but the thing is as well, they're very humbling. So they don't go about shouting their heads off and I'll knock you out and I'll do this. They
Right.
just leave it to they don't even leave it to the judges half the time. I would say that
Right.
if they're going to say they leave it to the judges, but they leave it until they get in the ring, you know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's how it should be.
Yeah, I really like Jodvicha. You know,
Yeah.
after fighting him, he's really become a very close friend.
Oh,
And
cool. Right
again,
on.
his style is absolutely immense.
Yeah, he's an animal.
Yeah.
What was it like fighting him? Like, is there a couple key takeaways that you got from that fighting him?
You know, it was. I think that was a while ago, man. I can't really
Yeah.
remember the fight so much.
That's true.
I got cut. It was more so that I should have listened to John Pop a lot more.
Hmm.
I don't think I was in the right mindset, and I think that's where I changed as a fighter in sense of maturity to understand the game more in psychological terms. You know,
That's an
because
important
when he cut me, all them lights came shining down on me, and they got hot all of a sudden,
Mm.
and it
Hmm.
and it was I've been cut before. You know, I've had my face absolutely beat to bits, and
Right.
it didn't really affect me as much. But
Huh.
then when that one hit me, and I just lost, I just phased out.
How's that
You
right?
know, so I started to look at the game a lot more in terms of psychology
Right.
and looking at the fighter and his emotions and how his body acts out. Because again, when pain hits you, you can have a plan, like Mike Tyson said.
That's it.
You can have a plan until you get in the face. You
That's
know,
it.
and that is such a true statement. You can have so many plans, but once you get hurt, one shot, you're just gone.
That's it. Yep. Changes everything. Yeah. There's fighting, hey?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I
Number
think
2. Oh, sorry.
Super Bon.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
again, what a knock.
his last knockout was just rough,
Yeah.
just precision. It was just absolute precision,
Yeah. Unbelievable.
and the way he's promoting the game very well. He shows such athleticism in the gym, and then he shows how to be a businessman outside. Obviously, he's just opened his gym as well. And
Right.
in terms of, I don't like to say how, I don't like just to look at, for me as a fighter, I don't want to just look at the fight. I want to look at the all round aspect of life of that person.
Right,
you
right.
know. And I think that as well comes into the game when you're in the ring, you know.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, of course. Yes.
So in terms like, I could say, I could say anyone, I could say obviously Rod Tang, Jonathan Haggerty, all these boys are absolute legends. They're amazing, but I don't know much of their life,
Right.
so I don't like to make comment on such things what I don't know of.
Sure. Yeah.
But then obviously again, you have Vitcher, John Pop. I've been with them. I see them obviously in the stadiums and stuff like that. Obviously, John Vitcher, and then obviously Superbon. He's just he's doing amazing things right now for Thai boxing. I believe. I think
Yes.
he's a role model. He's an inspiration.
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
At the same time, he's not shouting at the top of the world. I'm the best and I'm this.
Yes.
He's very humble at the same time.
Always a smile
Yeah.
for the most
So
part.
and again, I think that's a true athlete.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. That's awesome. Good. Great pick. So one more time we have Superbon just mentioned, Richa and
John Paul.
I'm sorry, and Jump Up. Team. That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just before we finish here, is there any sponsors or anybody like that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Obviously, Stephen, my dad, he's absolutely been a part of this fight for this whole 5 months in Thailand. I've
Nice.
got he got me a few sponsors from the north of England.
Oh, beautiful.
They've been really helpful as well.
Awesome.
Evolve Academy, they actually help. They actually in Middlesbrough in the UK, they actually help. I wouldn't say bad kids, but kids who just aren't really academically active in the mind.
Yep.
They're much more better as a sportsman or something like this. So he takes them, he shows them sports, and he gets them certificates and stuff like that there through the game.
Nice.
Through boxing. Through football, through rugby, and he has athletes actually from like Team GB and stuff like this here.
Is that right?
Talk to the
Okay.
kids. So Evolve is amazing.
Huh.
He's T-side. I can't remember. I can't even remember now. Like you've asked me, I'm stuck
Sorry,
on words.
I apologize.
Oh man, that's so bad.
No worries. We can always come back to it if you want. The other thing,
I've got a few, and honestly, they're actually really helpful, and the north of England has really came out to show the support for me.
That's great. Well, to
From
be
where
honest, from what I've learned in this small chat from you, pretty easy guy to sponsor. You're clearly a family man. You're doing this for more than just yourself and just for punching another cat in the face. The people you look up to live proper lives outside of just being fighters. Like,
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that, man. That's that. And for me,
Yeah.
for
Thank
me
you.
and who I like and want to support in Muay Thai, that's exactly who I'm. And not just, boxing, MMA, anything. Those are the exact people I'm looking for, man. So shout out to you as well. That's.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
This has been a great conversation just for beyond the punch and the kick, and which is really what I'm obsessed with about Muay Thai. It really is beyond that, and I'm glad that we really got to kind of touch on that. Just
Yeah.
Muay Thai's life, right? It's not just about the punch and kick.
Yeah, of course. It's a lifestyle, man.
Yes, sir. Now we also usually do a student of the podcast. So I don't know if you're still teaching. For those who don't, because not all fighters teach, we just do like a person of the podcast. Is there anybody you'd like to give that to? Your wife.
No, obviously, in terms of saying thank you, my wife is my biggest
Oh, your wife,
supporter.
of course. Shout out to
She is.
Mrs. Stan. That's great.
She's an absolute legend. She's been at my beck and call, and as much as I'm living quite a lonely life here, she's said goodbye to her partner, and she's took the sacrifice herself.
Yes,
and
sir.
I think that's absolutely amazing. I've got the amount of respect I've got for her lady. She still holds down the house. She still gets home cooking, and she still does a job. Traveling for a job as well. To Saudi and all these other places, and with the 3 kids and that. And then juggling with the fact that her husband's thousands of miles away.
Yeah,
It's
wow.
Again, she's an inspiration.
Yeah.
Not just for females, for anyone.
There you go. No kidding. You found yourself a Wonder Woman.
Absolute legend of the game. Alhamdulillah, I found an amazing woman to spend the rest of my life with. So
You're here.
hopefully I can come home with a win for her.
Right on.
For family as well.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Beauty. Anything else before we call it a day, sir?
Not at all, man. Thank you for having me on. I've been watching it, obviously. Well done with all the Spotify. You know, you had your 10,000. You had your 10,000 views. That's awesome. It's a
Yes, sir.
milestone for you, man.
Yes, sir. I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, it is.
I could tell you that when we were chatting on the couch last Sunday, my family was sitting beside me. We're like, "Oh yeah, let's chat." I literally was like, "Yeah, let's go." I was so stoked to make this happen, man. I'm a big fan of you. I'm a very big fan of UK Muay Thai, and I have been for a very long time. I'm a huge fan of what's happening with the Rajadamnern World Series, and I promise I'm going to be rooting you on in your next fight.
I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, yes, sir.
Which one's your best pair of pads on the wall, then?
Ooh. I'll tell you. Those twins right there.
They're your babies?
Yeah. Nice thick handle. I've probably had them for about 15 years. And if I'm holding for fighters, those are the pads. Hey, twins, hit me up.
Yeah. I've got the red blue Fairtex ones on the bottom left.
Yep, right there. Love those too.
They're very nice pads. For especially like Muay Thai, like kneeing and stuff like this here.
That's it.
Just
not so much for
right
heavy.
in there. No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
That's it.
But yeah.
All right.
Honestly, amazing work, mate. Honestly, like, again, obviously, I don't really know much of the Canadian Muay Thai scene, but you're one of the faces that I always see there. So keep up the good work. You should be proud of yourself,
dude,
for what you do. And
I don't have words. Thank you.
Big love, man. It takes balls for someone to even sit in front of a microphone, not showing the face. So
I'm slowly growing a pair. We're getting there. Thank you very much, sir. Other than that, I get to commentate tonight at the Muay Thai World Cup for Kieran Kettle's show.
Yeah,
and,
awesome, man.
Yeah, man, full day of fights. I love it. Can't wait.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing.
Well,
have a nice night.
You too, sir. Happy Father's Day one more time, and I can't wait to see you in the ring.
Take care. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.